active storms are on the radar. This is a potent storm system on today's WRAL Weather Alert Day. We're with you every step of the way.
And I'm live in the WRAL Storm Tracker with a live look at how these storms are impacting the roads.
Then, intense new body camera video released in a deadly Raleigh police officer shooting. Hey. WRAL investigates the tragic and heroic moments all caught on camera.
New commish, same problems. This is the scene at DMVs all across the state. Why we may start seeing an end to long lines at DMVs like this with a new commissioner at the helm.
A band of stormy weather has moved out of our area, but there's still a WRAL Weather Alert Day as you look live from the Garner Tower camera. So the clouds are socked in right there. It's been a rainy day all day. I want to thank you for joining us. I'm Gerald Owens. We have another band on the way tonight. A level 3 risk for severe weather remains, and we have team coverage to track it. Let's begin with meteorologist Kat Campbell in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Kat, I see the Durham Bulls camera behind you. They're going to get that game in, right?
I do think that they'll be okay. This storm right here is going to stay just on the north side of the Bulls. Luckily, there is a separate storm that we'll have to watch the evolution of that's just west of Orange County right now, moving through Alamance County. But this one stays just on the north side of town in Durham. No lightning within these storms, so that's another promising sign for the Bulls games. A lot of lightning closer to the coast at the moment, and up in southern Virginia, there is some severe weather, even a tornado warning just out of this view here. We are watching some storms still to our west, so that's the reason why we have not been removed from the watches just yet, because we're going to watch to see how these evolve. However, I will say if you live in Wake County and Raleigh, the greatest threat should be over. You saw so much rain earlier today and thunderstorms that really helps to turn over the atmosphere and lower the amount of energy that is left. Still, there is a tornado watch in effect until 8 p.m., a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 11 o'clock. However, the 11 o'clock timestamp on this is really 4 cities well east of us, closer to the North Carolina coast. So I think that our threat for severe weather here will be over by 8 p.m. 9 o'clock would be the absolute latest. We are not expecting any kind of overnight storms or severe weather. In fact, you should wake up to sunshine tomorrow. I'll let you know how long that lasts coming up.
I'm Willie Danley in the WRAL Storm Tracker. Right now we're driving on I-40 West, and I'll tell you this road looks a lot different than it did just a couple of hours ago. You can see this rain has moved out of this area, and the road almost appears to be completely dry. Just a few moments ago, we got out of Johnston County, and we spoke to some travelers who drove here 8 hours from Pennsylvania. They told me about their experience having to pull over on the side of the road due to that heavy downpour with low visibility. But as I said, you can see that this rain has already moved out of this area, but we are going to continue to remain out here in the Storm Tracker to keep you up to date with the road conditions. Back to you.
All right, thanks very much, Willie. Brian Schrader here in the WRAL Live Center, and Willie is on I-40 in the Garner area in Wake County. As we take a look at radar, Kat pointed out that cell moving between Hillsborough and Durham right now. I want to show you a couple of cameras there along the path of that storm. This is 85 near the Orange-Durham County line, and you can see where we have had some rain there recently, and also here at 169-mile marker, not too far from the Eno community. Another wet scene there with rain falling, something we'll be monitoring through the evening here in the WRAL Live Center.
Thank you, Brian. Make sure to have the WRAL weather app loaded on your phone so you can track the storms and have interactive radar and customized alerts that are specific to your area. It is free to download. Breaking news, body camera video just released today shows the chaos and bravery at a deadly shooting earlier this year. Police say Antonio Rodriguez first shot and killed his ex-wife's boyfriend, his ex-wife's boyfriend, then shot Raleigh officer Max Gillick before other officers killed him. WR's Carly Haynes takes us to the shootout through the lens of the Raleigh police body camera. Carly, the video is compelling and dramatic to watch.
We had a team of people going through hours of that Raleigh police body camera footage today, and it's very, very hard to watch. It shows the heroic efforts from the chaos that unfolded inside of this home.
I'm outside the house, got multiple shots fired.
Raleigh police body camera footage captures the pressure, the critical moments.
Get down! Get down! Get down!
And the communication between officers the evening of the shooting in the Renaissance Park neighborhood, January 21st. Officers' cameras show victim John Rowe on the ground. He had just been shot inside his girlfriend's home by her ex-husband.
Just keep breathing, John. I know this sucks right now, man, but we're going to get you out of here. You're going to be fine.
Raleigh police looked for suspect Antonio Rodriguez and found him.
Before I was doing anything.
Contact in the garage! Contact in the garage! Shots fired! Shots fired! Hey, get out! Hey, watch the garage! Watch the garage! I'm behind you!
Officer Max Gillick moved Rowe away from the gunfire, staying with him and at least one other officer, his gun drawn toward Rodriguez's location.
Suspect in the garage! Come out now with your hands above your head!
As police used an armored vehicle to get in the garage, Officer Gillick got shot.
No.
Officers then fatally shot Rodriguez. A domestic call turned deadly with Gillick in critical condition. And the Wake County District Attorney said the use of deadly force in this case was justified. Officer Gillick is now on the road to recovery after spending some time in the hospital. Carly Haynes, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Boy, such powerful video there. Thank you, Carly. Let's get you caught up. Here are 5 things you should know right now. A man is dead and 2 women have serious injuries after a shooting on Romont Drive in Durham. This happened around midnight. Police found the 3 victims in a car in front of an entrance to Whippoorwill Park. The man died at the hospital. Their names have not been released and there have been no arrests. Hillside High School students had their day interrupted by a lockdown. Durham police tell WRAL it started as an investigation regarding a carjacking outside of the school. That led officers inside the school. School officials tell us police went door to door with guns drawn, searching every room for suspects. They didn't find any suspects or any weapons. As for the carjacking, police say the suspects stole 2 cars, at least one of them at gunpoint, and they are investigating those crimes. NBA and former Duke star Zion Williamson is being sued by a woman who says she dated him while he was at Duke. The civil lawsuit claims Williamson committed repeated sexual violence against her. Williamson's attorney called the claims categorically false and reckless and accused the plaintiff of extortion, which he said has been reported to law enforcement. A Raleigh daycare worker has been arrested and is accused of biting a 2-year-old. The sheriff's office says they were called to Creative Kids Academy on Strickland Road last Friday. After investigating, deputies arrested Kayla Drakeford Williams yesterday and charged her with misdemeanor child abuse. Creative Kids said Drakeford Williams has been fired. She is out of jail on bond. Fayetteville Police has a new leader. Roberto Bryan Jr. will take over as chief on July 7th. He is currently the chief of police at Fayetteville State University. He succeeds Kem Braden, who retired after nearly 3 decades of service to the city of Fayetteville. Every morning, DMVs all over the state start from behind. 3,900 people in line, 2,000 appointments, nearly 6,000 people in need of services with staffing in need of a boost. But there is help on the way. New Commissioner Paul Tyne spoke publicly for the first time today, sharing his plan to right this ship. As WRAL's Sean Gallagher reports, they are coming face to face with this problem.
When sitting down at the DMV, you'll see photos of the 3 men in charge: DOT Secretary Joey Hawkins, Governor Josh Stein, and new Commissioner Paul Tyne. Today, they jumped off the walls to the floors, doing some shoe leather government work, learning how the dysfunctional DMV is impacting lives.
I did have to take the day off today.
Christina Bethune needs her real ID so she can fly home for her grandmother's funeral.
Just a waiting game. That's why I brought this thing.
Rewriting the book on DMV operations is the goal for new Commissioner Paul Tyne, with the main goal:
how can we get people in and out of our offices as quickly as possible?
Tyne says they're looking at projects large.
We need a whole system overhaul.
That could take years to take effect, and small.
Our scanners that take a long time, you multiply that out by the number of documents that they hit per person, per examiner across the entire state, that slows everything down. So you're going to see a lot of different changes.
with change needed behind the counter, too.
We only have 7 full employee positions for our 15-station office.
Help that could be on the way. Stein has requested 85 new DMV positions as part of his budget, a budget waiting for Senate approval. Solutions that will have to wait as time ticks by for those who continue standing in lines across the state.
They're not going to help the people that are standing in line today. They're not going to help the people that are looking for appointments today. But know that we are working to fix those problems as we move forward.
Tyne says they'll have almost weekly changes that you can almost see immediately, including employees who will check people in line when there is one to make sure they have the right paperwork, so they're not waiting unnecessarily for hours, only to get the bad news once they get inside. In Raleigh, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
The DMV also announced its new website today. It's ncdmv.gov. They hope that it'll be a website to get things done, like renewing a license and helping figure out if you really do need a real ID now or if you can wait to get one. The federal budget bill that passed the U.S. House last week would cut hundreds of millions of dollars from food assistance programs. That could mean more hungry students at your local school and more state and local taxes to cover the cost. A little over a third of children in Wake County qualify for food assistance. At Barwell Road Elementary, that number is closer to 2/3. That's where Congresswoman Deborah Ross visited today to talk about the risk that the Republican budget poses to school breakfast and lunch programs. She was joined by Principal Takesha Mitchell.
Not having these programs would mean that some of our students would not get breakfast, they would not get lunch.
Also will affect Meals on Wheels for our seniors. It also will affect veterans programs.
Republicans in the House and Senate didn't immediately respond to our request for a comment today, but House Budget Chairman Donnie Lambeth said last week they're waiting to see what cuts are actually made. North Carolina Republicans also want to cut state taxes next year, so coming up with the extra money to cover federal cuts may be even more difficult. Coming up, higher insurance bills for homeowners, why your home insurance is about to jump, and by how much. Plus,
blocking Helene help? Well, a North Carolina lawmaker says the state turned away contractors for not meeting a state diversity goal. We'll check that claim coming up.
North Carolina lawmakers are moving forward with a bill that would ban state agencies from having diversity policies. The bill's sponsor says an existing state diversity law has prevented some contractors from helping with disaster relief. Paul Spade checks this claim for PolitiFact.
Did North Carolina turn away contractors who wanted to help after Hurricane Helene because of some sort of state quota for hiring minority-owned businesses? Well, that's what House member Brendan Jones said the other day. He filed a bill that would ban state agencies from having diversity, equity, or inclusion policies. And in a committee meeting, he said this.
This really stemmed from some of the hurricane disaster relief work that's being done, and that contractors are being rejected because they cannot meet some of these so-called quotas.
When we heard this quote, we reached out to Jones' office and asked, could he identify some of these workers that he said were blocked from state contracts? We emailed him, we called him, we left voicemails. He never got back to us. So then we reached out to the House Speaker and leaders of a Helene Relief Committee. They never got back to us. Now, we know which law he's referring to because he mentioned it in that committee. It says the state shall have a 10% goal for participation by minority-owned businesses in the total value of work for each state building project. Now, we wanted to know what this meant, so we reached out to the State Department of Administration, which manages the state's contracts and operations, things like that. They sent us an email saying that 10% figure is just a goal. It's not a quota, and failure to meet that goal does not prevent any bidders from winning a state contract. So Jones said that law blocked contractors from getting disaster relief work. We see no evidence that that's happening, and that's why. The Truth Meter rates his claim false. Read more about this at WRAL.com.
Our PolitiFact team checks statements from people across the political spectrum. If you want us to check something, you can reach out through WRAL.com or you can send us an email at reportit@WRAL.com. North Carolina homeowners will open insurance renewal letters next week, and they're going to find larger totals. On June 1st, homeowners insurance premiums jumped an average of 7.5% after regulators trimmed a much steeper request. Raleigh-based Guardian Service analyzed how premium hikes would hit homeowners across the state, with the average homeowner paying about $250 more per year.
we're inland enough that we're not right on the coast, and we're far enough away from the mountains again. So it's like we're kind of an in-between. But at the end of the day, it's still expensive.
The coastal communities, as you might expect, will feel the sting first, up 16% this year, almost another 16% hike in 2026. As hurricane losses mount, reinsurance prices will be higher. And get ready for more pain. Another round of rate hikes scheduled for next summer. RDU International adding a new nonstop destination. A new Delta flight will take off to and from Indianapolis starting August 11th. Tickets for the new destination are available beginning tomorrow. Officials are warning people who go to the coast to stay away from the wild horses on the North Carolina beaches. This comes after a woman got too close to a newborn. Another woman was given a civil citation after getting too close to the same foal while at the Rachel Carson Reserve. With more people coming to see these animals, it's becoming a larger issue for the animal safety as well as the human safety.
Sometimes they might come out of nowhere with protective behavior such as biting or kicking. We don't want people to get hurt.
And while officials welcome visitors to come see the wild horses, they say it's best to do so from about 50 feet so you respect the animal's space. Kat Campbell back with us in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. The coast's going to be a popular place this weekend, Kat.
It will be, Gerald. I wish I were there this weekend. You know, they're going to have some nice weather. They may run into a storm tomorrow afternoon. But overall, as a whole, the weekend doesn't look too shabby. I do want to let you know the first round of storms from earlier has moved well east of us. It is impacting the North Carolina coast right now. We do have this area that we're watching of some showers. Good news here. There is no lightning and any of these showers right now. And, of course, no severe thunderstorm warnings or anything like that. Zooming in, I do want to let you know we've got a shower on the north side of town in Durham. That's the one I was saying should stay just north of the DBAP for the Bulls game. We are watching some additional rain make its way toward Chapel Hill, and this could bring some rain to Raleigh and Wake County. But given the rain and storms that we saw earlier, the atmosphere doesn't quite have the energy that it did before. So that kind of helped rain us out, which is good news. A live look at that storm in the distance in Durham, knowing that that storm stays north of that area is kind of cool. You can see the sun setting in the distance, the storm there as well. If you like to see some sunshine, we've got a lot more of it next week. It's going to be warmer and it's going to be drier, and there is going to be a lot more sun visible. 83 the high Monday, then we really warm up after that. 88 Tuesday. Those days we wake up to temperatures in the mid-50s, so the humidity really won't be that bad those days. By the time we get to Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, high temperatures are in the 90s. Notice how the low temperatures go up. That's a little trick you can use when looking at the 7-day forecast. The warmer the low temperatures, typically the more humid it's going to feel outside. Morning exercise tomorrow should be dry, mostly sunny. A nice start to the day. 57 at 6 a.m. and by 10 a.m. 70 degrees. So if you do want to get outside by that time, you should be in good shape to do so. We'll be in the low 80s both days this weekend. I mentioned Saturday we do have the potential for a couple of thunderstorms during the afternoon. These are not going to be as widespread as what we have seen the past several days. It's about a 40% chance for tomorrow during the afternoon hours. There is still the potential, given with the upper level energy in place, that there could be some gusty winds, maybe some small hail in those storms. But let's take a look at Futurecast here. We'll wake up to sunshine tomorrow morning. This is worst case scenario Futurecast, but just to kind of give you that idea, if worst case scenario pans out here, we would see those storms later in the afternoon and evening. Over the next 7 days, much drier weather returns to the forecast. Look at all that sunshine in the forecast starting on Monday. But, you know, June starts on Sunday. It's about that time for high temperatures to begin climbing into the 90s. Gerald.
Very seasonal. Thanks, Kat. Coming up, remembering Loretta Swit, the actress who played Hot Lips Houlihan on the acclaimed TV show MASH, has died. Coming up, we'll look back at her career, and we'll show you how she left her mark literally right here at the WRAL studios in 2003. Tonight, the Special Olympics North Carolina Summer Games have been holding their grand opening ceremony at Reynolds Coliseum. More than 1,500 athletes from across the state will compete in their respective sports, and our Ken Smith is the MC. Earlier today, the final leg of the Wake County Law Enforcement Torch Run wrapped up. This run supports the Special Olympics North Carolina. Dozens of law enforcement personnel gathered at Carter Finley Stadium, running all the way to the state capitol. Emmy Award-winning actress Loretta Swit has died. She's most famous for playing Hot Lips Houlihan on the smash hit TV show MASH, winning 2 Emmys in the process. Swit appeared in all but 11 episodes of the series, nearly 4 times longer than the Korean War itself, exploring issues like PTSD, sexism, and racism. She pushed for a better representation for women. She died of natural causes at the age of 87. Loretta Swit is also part of WRAL history. In 2003, nearly 22 years ago, when our station was a CBS affiliate, she joined us live right here in our studios in our noon newscast to talk about her performance in the musical Maine with the North Carolina Theater. Our break room at the time featured replica set pieces of classic CBS shows, and MASH was one of them. She charmed everyone at the station, and on her way out of the interview, she saw that MASH tent. And on a whim, she asked us for a magic marker, got up on a chair, and autographed it for us. As you can see, that set piece and her autograph are still there right outside our studio door. Loretta, thanks for the memories. After roughly a decade behind the desk full-time, Lester Holt signed off from NBC Nightly News as its anchor.
As anchor, it has been an honor to lead this program and an honor to be welcomed into your homes. I am so grateful for your trust. Around here, facts matter, words matter, journalism matters, and you matter.
The 65-year-old has been behind the desk since 2015, when he became the first solo black anchor on a weekday network nightly newscast. Lester will continue to host Dateline NBC, the network's primetime news magazine, full-time. Tom Yamas, who frequently fills in for Lester, will take over starting Monday. Thank you for making WRAL your choice for local news. Our next newscast at 10 on Fox 50 and 11 on WRAL.